All right, everyone. Hello again. My name is Miss Anita, yours truly, Miss Anita. And I have back with me a very special guest, Mr. Brent, who has his own YouTube channel, Roadrunner 89. And today we're just basically just going to talk, have a conversation. And this would, I guess, if we had to have a topic or focus, it's going to be for the single women as well as the single men who are looking for to get into a serious relationship, hopefully leading into marriage, not just frivolously dating. We want this to lead to something serious. So we're going into the holiday times, and sometimes you're invited to different functions or events, or maybe you're just hanging out at the mall and or at the theater or what have you, and you run up into someone or you run into someone and you think there might be a vibe going between the two of you guys, and they're of another race. Let's put it like this. So if you're not knowing how to read a person, or maybe you're thinking, I think he likes me, I'm not sure if he likes me, I'm kind of feeling him, but don't know how to approach him. And then if you're dealing with the opposite race, sometimes you're kind of afraid, or maybe you feel intimidated, like you don't know how to approach the person, or maybe they want to approach you and they might feel apprehensive in approaching you, not knowing how. So I have Mr. Brent here, who is married to an African American lady for over 27 years, and they are doing quite well, a very successful marriage. And he's always expressed an interest, for as long as I've known him, that his preference has been towards Black women. I'm a Black woman, and I am considering all options of different races to, because sometimes we can be very narrow minded and just only pick one, one race because maybe that's what we've been taught. Maybe we're just too afraid to venture out to see maybe what's out there. But love can come in many different shades and colors. So I have Mr. Brent here. Maybe we can discuss again, maybe how he met his wife, perhaps maybe shed some light, or as far as men, how they might would consider approaching a woman of color, if they're white, how they might would consider, they may see a woman out there that they really like, but maybe too afraid to approach her, or for whatever reason, and vice versa, even for a woman. There I've heard a few
Yeah.
women have felt that the white guys are not interested in them, and my understanding is that's not true. So that's why I have Mr. Brent here to kind of help us out and shed some light on the situation. So, Brent, I'm going to let you share your perspective and how you see things, and
Okay.
I'll jump in if I have any questions or just want to share my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. When you talk about interracial dating relationships, how to approach each other, um, there's a stigma behind it, and of course, there's the racial thing. And people are uncomfortable. They don't know what to expect. It's kind of like the unknown, and when you approach, um, the men, in my opinion, should be the ones that approach, the ones that you know, pursue. That's traditional way men approach women, and
That's biblical. That's the
yeah,
Bible.
it is biblical, and
Yeah, because he who seeks out a wife. Well, how does that scripture go? You know that scripture goes.
he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Right there,
Yeah,
you go.
um, and that's true. Yes, um, the thing of it is just having the courage and just being yourself. Um, because we're men and women, and we can look different, but bottom line is we're people. And I would say to men and women approaching interracially is just go for it. And I would say to
Yeah.
guys, I would say be aggressive, but be respectfully aggressive. That's what I always say. Be respectfully aggressive. Um, you know, go up, talk to her, tell her you're interested, tell her she's beautiful. You don't uh a lot of times we try to overthink it, or we try to
Yeah.
strategize it in a way that, you know, will if we hang on that, we're never going to be ready. So I just
Yeah.
my advice was just go for it, and be aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason I say aggressive, because a lot of black women tell me that white guys are not aggressive like black guys, and they want them to be a little bit aggressive, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a
But
culture thing.
that might not be their way though. That might not.
Yeah.
So maybe you two have to meet in the middle. Maybe if the white guy is not as aggressive, should we, as the female, even though I know it's supposed to be the man that comes to us, do we kind of? I mean, do we come in the middle somewhere? Like, because the cultures might be different, do we at least give a wink
Yeah.
and nod? Something, I don't know. I'm just
I
teasing.
that's a good question, and I think it would be a good thing you might think about. I heard one relationship coach. This guy was, I don't remember his name, but he was famous, and he said that women, and he wasn't talking racially, he's just talking about getting together and dating, and he would say that back in the day a woman would drop her handkerchief and
Oh
men
yeah,
would know that you know to,
I heard that.
that they could court them, right? It was a sign that they're ready to be courted. um and I would say you can do that too, like maybe just being friendly, because a lot of times when
Right.
guys approach, especially interracially, they're going to do it when they feel the most comfortable. If you have a good conversation and it's friendly and you're, you know, good to go with
Yeah.
each other, then they're going to approach, rather than, if you have like just
Yeah.
if you're angry or complaining, or it's maybe as a woman, just be like, I don't know, confident but approachable. You know what I
Always,
mean?
to me, yeah, I do. Now this is just me because some people are more don't mind a lot of people around them. I'm a little different. I tend to do better if it's a setting where we just happen to run into each other. It's just one on one. I tend to think if there's a lot of people around, and maybe he may feel the same way,
Yeah.
chances are he may not approach me because
Uh,
he does not want to be embarrassed, and I would feel the same way. I tend to do
yes.
better if, like, say we run into each other in a grocery store and there's nobody else in that aisle, or they're way down the way, so we might say a few words or something like that,
No,
or we're
that's
walking down the street.
that's a good point. And men are going to approach you when there's less people around, when it's, you might say, safer, because if she rejects you, you don't want a group of people witnessing it, right? Because you're going to be embarrassed.
Exactly.
Um, I would just say you're going to run into rejection. If you're in,
Yeah.
well, anytime you date, you're going to get rejection. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's
Right.
going to be interested. And just treat it like as if you're, I would just say, just be yourself. And if you're a white guy and you want to date a black woman, just approach her. Don't be so focused on the racial thing, and
Yeah.
be yourself, and don't try to appropriate. Don't try to throw slang in there and act
Right.
like the stereotypical black, like thinking it's going to get you
Right.
some cool points, because it's not. It's
Right.
just going to make you look
Exactly.
silly. So just be
Right.
yourself,
That's true.
and approach. And I would tell men, be aggressive, respectfully aggressive. That's what I always say, because you got to go for it. Because you can
That's
sit
true.
back and think, and a lot of times, and I've talked to black women, white men, and men of other races. A lot of times they think black women wouldn't be interested. So a lot of them think that they're only interested in
But
black men.
black women feel that way too.
Yeah.
A lot of us might feel that white guys aren't interested in us. And I don't think it's that we purposely go out like, oh, today I'm going to go out and find me a white guy. And I don't think the white guy is going out there like, today I'm going to go and look for a black woman. Now, maybe some who know exactly what they want, but a lot of us may not always know exactly what I want, what we want, what I want. Sometimes I think it just happens naturally, don't you think? I mean,
Um,
sometimes.
yes and no. Uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna say yes and no. This is just my opinion. Okay.
Okay.
When you want to pursue a certain person, or let's say your preference is Asian or black, or it don't matter. You want to be
That's
with
true.
that person, you go where they're at. Um,
Okay.
I used to go like places where I would see black women, and it's and the funny thing is sometimes it can be natural to where you know um like my wife, I how we met and stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking at the time, and it just happened. But and that can
Right.
happen too. And
Yeah.
but uh yeah, it can just happen. But then again, it might not. So you got to put like strategy. Anytime you want to accomplish something, you got to have a plan. And
Yeah.
especially guys, you're the one that's supposed to approach, so you got to have a plan. You're going to have to walk up to someone or talk to them. Well, in today's world, you might just get on the
Yeah.
computer and search a dating app, and maybe that'll work.
That's true.
I
Can you
I've
really
never.
trust those dating apps though? I only say that because I have tried the dating apps and I'm very leery of them now because, do people always tell the real truth and then you meet somebody and they're totally different from what you actually like, what? This is not what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I haven't done the dating thing, so I can't say whether it's good or bad. I've heard good and bad. I've heard people say, they don't like it, and I heard people say they found their true love through it. So I guess it
Yeah,
just depends on who you
I've heard
meet.
that too.
Um,
Yeah, I've heard.
my opinion on it, I have no experience with it, so I really can't give you an opinion. I would be leery just because I've never done it that way. Um, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's different ways to meet. Back in our day, we didn't have social media, we didn't have dating sites. Well, we did, but it was so far and few between. So
Yeah.
we when I was dating, I had to actually approach, and
Right.
it's
I
a
think we
face
done
to
got
face thing.
lazy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we done got lazy over the years. It's too easy to go online. And sometimes I think that works against you too. It's not the old fashioned way where you meet someone. Yeah.
yeah, and two, it can give you a false sense of how can I say that? It can kind of boost your ego in a way, I guess, from what I hear, because you put your profile out here and you get like 8 or 10 hits that women are interested, and you might not focus on the one that's actually a good match for you. You might say, I got 10 more I can look at. So, and really, they might be a hit, but maybe they get to know you. They're really not that interested. I mean, I
Right.
think it's a false sense of.
I think so too. Because I
Eh,
think you don't try as hard. You don't try as hard. Why should you? If one doesn't work out, you got seven more. This the seventh person doesn't work, you got six more. So you don't try as hard. I think back in the day, you tried to get to know one another.
yeah, that you had that anticipation, because once uh like in my experience, once I approached, and the lady was accepting and interested, then it was a good feeling, and then you went on the date, and then you got that second date, and it's like
Yeah,
it boosts you up, and then you're
yeah.
that
And
anticipation,
you
you're
guys
thinking about that.
look forward to seeing that person again,
Yeah,
and the excitement is there. And yeah,
yeah, and it just builds, and you're like, oh man, she's going out with me again. So uh So you can't wait. It's that intent, but I'm not saying you can't have that with the dating app. Maybe you
Yeah.
talk to someone online and you go on a few dates and it seems like it might work. Uh
I think it's hard. I think it's challenging when you meet someone that's a few states over. I think that's hard too. Not saying that it's impossible that you can make it work, but then you have to consider if you get into a serious relationship, who's going to move where? Is he going to move where you're at? Are you going to move where he's at? And then you're not really spending a lot of quality. Well, I guess you can. You can spend a lot of time on the telephone, and sometimes that is safe. That keeps you out of trouble. It gives you a chance to ask all the right questions and get to know each person. I think that part is good. But like really being around them and knowing their behavior and how they act, how they with their families, how they get the chance to see you interact with your family and stuff like that. I think when you're online, you miss some of those moments. I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, you do.
But
And
some people have had they've met each other that way and they've met each other long distance, and some of them have worked. But I think the stats probably show that in most cases, sometimes that doesn't always work out too well.
yeah, and I think it's easier with and I'm not saying don't date someone that's not in your same town or state or whatever, but it is
Right.
easier because you're both there. Me
Exactly.
me and my wife are from New Mexico, and we have a lot of cultural things that are alike. I mean, just because of where we live, the kind of food we eat, the stuff we do. Even though she's black and I'm white, we kind of, it's our home,
You
and
guys have a lot of common interests, a lot of things are
yeah,
similar.
a lot of common interests. That's right. And and our time in the army when we would take vacation and come home, you know, we would come home, both of us, because our families, both our families live here. We're from here. Where,
Right.
a lot of other people, they would have, you know, the the man would have family over in this state and the woman in this state, and they try to figure out, okay, whose family are we going to go
Yeah.
see next? But with me and my
Yeah.
wife, it was so easy. We just come home, and our
Yeah.
family's here. Um,
Yeah, that had to be nice because then you can see
yeah,
both parts of the family. That had to been really nice too.
yeah, and it's nice for the kids because they see grandparents on both sides when we come home.
Hmm.
It's not we don't have to figure out and divide up the time.
Yeah,
That was the nice thing about it. But I mean, you might find love in another state. I mean,
that's true. And
you know,
every now and then I think about that. I'm thinking, would I be willing to move away? I've been here in Ohio all my life. I think about stuff like that. I have grandkids, although my one grandson is in Tennessee. And I mean, I dealt with it. I mean, because sometimes in life you have no choice; you have to. So I'll see him sometimes when his family comes up around the holidays. But I do think about that. You meet someone that you really like, and they're not from where you're at. Who's gonna move where? Is he wanting to move here? Will I be willing to move there? Because you do have to work stuff like that out if you want to be in a serious relationship,
yeah,
especially if you want to be married. Those are things you got to take in consideration. I was thinking, like, will my son miss me? He probably would, but he'll probably glad, like, yeah, go on, mom.
no, he'll miss you. He'll want to see you.
He'll miss me, but he'll probably be like, yeah, go on. And they let do you get oh, you won't be a burden. Oh, I won't say a burden, but I won't be bothering him as much. Like, yes, he can take on, he can take you on. You won't be bothering me, calling me all the time or texting me. But what he don't realize, if I was to leave, I'll probably be calling him more. I'm just
Yeah,
messing. I'm just joking around, but I do think about that because I have, family friends here, and I wonder sometimes if you do meet someone that you really like and you come to love, would I be willing to make the sacrifice of moving away from the place and family and friends that I know that I'm familiar with? But now my son's wife actually did. she lived in California and she moved here to
Oh,
Ohio.
okay.
So it can be done. It can be
Yeah,
done. Um,
I think if you really love that person, you'll live anywhere. Me and my wife have lived, well, our army time, we're thrown all over the place. Um,
yeah,
and she always told me, she says, wherever you want to live, I'll go wherever you want to. She always let me. My
yeah,
wife's the kind that just gives me the choice, and
that's
you know,
awesome. Yeah,
it's a blessing, but I gotta I it's kind of hard too because I want to know what she wants. I don't want to just make the
yeah,
decisions because she's so
yeah.
kind. But
That's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, but
So yeah,
sometimes,
those are things that you got to think about that too. But
yeah,
and I don't know why that just came to my mind. I'm thinking, yes, my daughter. I call her my daughter. She's my daughter-in-law. But I I'm thinking she made that sacrifice, and I know it's hard because I'm sure she misses her family in California probably a lot. But she stays connected to them. We got. You can talk to a person like you and I are on here talking together
yeah,
face to face. So she does a lot of FaceTime and they talk on the phone with her family and friends. But I know that there's a longing, but hopefully your longing for maybe your family and friends doesn't surpass your love that you have for your significant other. Because that's to me what it should be about. Like you guys are building a life together. So for me, if I'm going to make that sacrifice, it better be the love have better be deep to the core.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
both ends.
and a lot of times people move to a certain place. A lot of times it's for employment. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
true.
it's not always a choice. Hey, I want to live here. Sometimes that's where the
True.
jobs are. That's where
Yeah.
they can benefit the most financially. Um, me and my wife, we were planning on moving to San Antonio after I retired from the army, but
Okay.
we came back to New Mexico because of our family. My stepmother, she passed on, but she wasn't doing well with her health. And then my wife's mom, she's 87 right now. I think she almost 90. So I mean, she has some health issues. She's doing pretty good for her age, but
Oh, good.
you know, so we came back home, to kind of look after them for a while, and then we found our jobs, and now we're just it's like God blessed us with that, so we're back home. Did we
Yeah.
plan that? No. And a lot of times God plans it for you. I mean, are we upset
Yeah.
that we're home? No, we love home. We love it here,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
plan on living in another place. But it is what it is.
Okay.
But you know,
Yeah, that's nice. I and getting back to dating outside of your race too.
uh,
I know that was always your preference, but for those of us, like even myself, I won't say that I started my life was my preference to date
yeah,
white guys. I have dated white guys, but it wasn't like a preference. But
yeah,
I do agree with you. I mean, you've always said that all of us should keep our options open because sometimes you can miss out on your blessing because maybe we're listening to what other people are saying, or maybe because they frown upon it. But you got someone over here who really want to love you and be there for you. And because of maybe us listening to other voices or other people, you're missing out on someone a beautiful relationship, and I think that part is sad. um
yeah. It
you
is, and
lost who you love.
yeah, it's sad too. And a lot of people have hurt feelings and broken hearts years down the road because they feel. And I've talked to people, um, on both sides of the racial groups, and they're like, I shouldn't have listened to my parents or my brother or my friend or people
Yeah.
around me because they feel they missed that blessing. And
Why?
I would just say, go. It's your life. I mean, do you want to be in that relationship? Do you want to be married to that person? If so, nobody else should matter. And when you're
That's true.
when you're married, uh, I believe what made me and my wife's marriage successful is, number one, we believe in God, we depend on God. But number
That's always
two,
important.
we put each other first. It don't matter what
Yeah,
our friend or family members think. If they got a problem with
yeah,
it, it's their problem. And you
right.
know, I'm willing to cut off friends, family. It don't matter
There you
because my
go.
my
That's
wife
right.
is first.
Because your wife and your husband, and even in the Bible, I mean, you two should become one, and that's how it's
Yes,
supposed to be. Everybody else outside of that, really, to me, shouldn't really matter. Although sometimes we do have a problem with listening to people on the outside, and they can say what they got to say. They go on with their life, and then they're doing whatever they do. And some of the very ones that might tell you, like, you shouldn't go down that road, and later on you find out that they're with somebody that you didn't think that they.
yes,
I mean, and
yes.
that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful listening to
I,
other people because people can lead you astray. if
I,
you
I,
don't,
I've seen people back in high school thought I was crazy and told me not to do it, and now they're doing it. So, yeah,
see what I mean?
whatever.
That's a good example right there. And had you
Yeah,
listened to them, guess what?
yeah,
You
I
might
would have
have been
missed
as
out.
happy as you are. Yeah,
Yeah, I might not have. I might have married the wrong woman and been in
there's,
divorce, and I
that's
might have.
exactly right.
Who knows what could have happened? Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, it's your life, and when I say when you date and stuff, be selfish. Go for what you want.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want the best man for the job. I mean, the one that's going to take care of you. Um,
yeah.
Same thing with a man. You want a woman that's loyal, that's going to be, have your back, going to be a good mom, going to support you. I mean, and that's what it's about.
That
You know.
is.
But a lot of times we get so focused on the outside that we never get to the inside. Um,
That's true. Too.
are they
That
attractive?
is true.
Do they got
Yeah,
money? Are they fun to be with? Okay, good. I'm in. Guess what? You don't know what they're like inside, and you might
that
be
is
headed
true
for
too.
such a disaster.
That is so very true, Brett.
And,
Yeah,
and
which is why you've always said you got to vet people. You got to ask the right questions. I do feel like sometimes we're not asking the right questions. But the question I want to ask though is how soon should we be asking serious questions? Should we be asking questions like on the first day? Like, should we ask like, what is your
no,
intentions? Are you just in this
um,
for the ride? Are you just having fun? Or are you looking for something serious?
you can do that. Eventually, you're going to have to do that because
Yeah, yeah,
um, some people are in it just to have fun. I mean,
yeah.
there's some people, and see the way I feel about it, and I would say this is biblical. The reason you date it is not for the hookup. It's not for the. It's to get to know that person. Is that the right person you want to be married to?
Right,
That's what
right.
dating should be about.
Yeah, yeah,
But in our society, we don't date for those things. We date because
right,
it might be the sexual thing or just just to have fun. But truly, it should be about
right.
finding who's right for you. Um,
Yeah, it should.
Getting to know
Yeah, I
that
think that
person.
was what it originally was supposed to be, right? Wasn't dating originally supposed to
Yeah,
be, like you said, is finding the right mate to
yeah,
settle down with, not necessarily just like, I'm just going to hang out with them for a few months. We just kicking it, as they say now, and just hanging out. And then when I'm tired or, this is not going nowhere, I'll just toss it. So basically, you're not even willing to work at it. If it gets challenging,
yeah,
you want out. If it's not no effort. That's what I'm saying when we were talking about going online. If you got about 10 people that's interested in you, how much emphasis are you going to put on that first person? Because the moment they make you upset or something like that, you're out. Because you feel like, well, I got some other people that's interested in me. So what kind of quality time are we really putting in? And then you can't always just bounce just because, unless it's just really crazy. But I'm just saying, just because things go, you have a disagreement, that's not a sign to jump out of the relationship. That's when you got to find out, is this person willing to work through this? we're willing to
Yeah.
work together on whatever situation instead of just go run because it's uncomfortable or something like that.
Yeah, and people do that. I've seen marriages, people end up in divorce because they get in a argument and they say hurtful things, and the other person just like, okay, I'm done. Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute,
wow.
you're flawed people. I mean, uh, you got to have some forgiveness because we're going to do dumb things as humans.
Exactly.
Um, but I've seen
God
it.
forbid if God treated us that way, we'd be in a world of trouble if God jumped to us like,
Oh
oh my
gosh, yeah,
God, we
yeah, we would. But I've seen it. It happens all the time. It really does because people got this concept. Okay, I don't feel comfortable with this person. I'll go to the next one, and
yeah.
then after a while,
So we don't
you
work
never
at
find
it.
that
We don't
person.
try. Yeah, we
But
don't try. We don't try to
you
work
know,
at it.
you got to be forgiveness. You got to have forgiveness, and you got to understand that people are flawed. But that being said, that don't mean you put up with abuse. That don't mean you put up with if someone just tells you
True.
you're, in a heated argument, you might say something hurtful. But if the person's willing to
Right.
say, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. That was wrong. I'm sorry. You can
Right.
deal with that. But if someone's coming at you, telling you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're no good, or you're, you don't need
Mhm.
that. And
No.
of course, physical abuse. No, that you got to end it there. And adultery.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah.
someone's committing adultery, you got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I know people forgive on that stuff, and you can,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. There are
it's
marriages
hard
that
to be.
do.
Yeah, but it's hard to be. I mean, you're going to be scarred when it faced with something like that, and that's like the
Yeah.
biggest disrespectful thing you could do to someone. I think
Yeah.
it is, especially when you're married, because that's you've made that commitment to them and to God, and you know. But besides those drastic things, um, you got to work out your issues. We all have our issues, and it takes patience and forgiveness. And
Miss Ursula is on the line. Hello, Miss Ursula.
oh, how's it going, Miss Ursula?
She
I
is
can't.
really sweet.
Yeah, I don't have a.
You can't see the
I can't.
comments?
No, I see it. I just can't respond to it. I was going to
Oh,
say hi to
okay.
her. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, marriage is a two-way street, and like I always said, it takes two to make it work. It can't work without both, but it only takes one to
That's true.
destroy it.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, but
You're right.
talking about interracial relationships, I would just say, for the guys, be aggressive, respectful, be respectfully aggressive because you got to talk to the person. Um, and
I was thinking about the story that you was telling me about. I'm thinking, how often does that happen, Brent? That one guy that really liked that African lady on the job. I'm thinking, how often does a situation that probably, but in his, you were there to help him out, but that
well,
doesn't happen all the time. So a lot of relationships, potential relationships,
yes,
doesn't
and
get a chance to get off the ground because either someone is too they can like you from a far distance, but too afraid to come and approach you.
yes, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of relationships don't happen because of that. Um, and the guy was like he would talk to her like friendly, you know, saying hi or just they could talk. He could talk to her. He had no problem, but he just couldn't tell her he was interested. That he just and I think he didn't think she would give him the time or day, but she did, and they're getting married. So
And I wonder how long had he been liking her, Brett?
uh quite a while. I mean, he's waiting for that
I,
right time.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
that to
I'm
me,
waiting
that's a
for the
good
right time.
example.
And you know
That's a
what? We
good
all
example.
we all do that. I've done that in my life, and I
Yeah,
look back, man,
yeah,
if I would have, you find out, looking back, dang, she was actually interested, and I was too scared to
But
even
it's out of fear. It's
go
out of
forward.
fear. We're afraid. Nobody wants to be hurt. Nobody wants to be rejected.
Yeah. But you know what?
That's
That's
what
life.
it is.
You're going to be rejected.
Yeah,
And it hurts,
yeah,
yes, but you got to
yeah,
go through with it. And and that's what I say. Um and a lot of times interracially, a lot of there's a lot of times they'll turn you down because not because they're not interested, because they're afraid, you know.
yeah.
So, just
Or
take
now, if their fear, do you feel that their fear is because of what other people think?
yeah, most of the time it is.
Yeah.
Yes. And I would use that to my benefit to make me feel more comfortable. I'd put it in my mind. I'd say, okay, if I approach this black woman, it and if, when I would get, when she said yes, I was like on cloud nine. But when they said no, I'd put it in my head. Well, it's because I'm a white guy. And truth be told, it's probably not that. They just probably weren't interested.
Right,
But in my
right.
mind, it makes me feel better, and I'll go with that. Sometimes maybe I won't go with the truth. I'll go with yeah, what makes me feel better.
Hey,
No, but
whatever works.
I would just
Whatever
put
makes you get up and try again with somebody else.
yeah. No, I mean that was just me. I put little things in my head to make me feel better, but um. And most of the rejections I don't think was because I'm a white guy. I think it was just they weren't interested. But I would put that in my head just to feel
Hey,
better.
Mr. Josh is on the phone. He said hello to both of us. Hello, Mr. Josh.
Hey Josh, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Yeah.
We're just chit chatting about dating and interracial relationships. Our usual conversation,
Yeah.
our
I
fears and scared to get out there and wanting to do it, but yet scared at the same time and getting past our, dealing with that kind of stuff.
but you know what? Once you go forward and take that step and the times you are successful, I mean it's like it feels great. It feels awesome.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember I
Oh, for
remember
sure.
my first girlfriend. I was like, "Oh my god." And my first girlfriend was a black girl, but I thought they don't like me and I'm looking stupid, but I was just so attracted to them. And then the first girl, I was like, I was just, and I had to
You was
hold
on
down
cloud
my,
nine.
yeah, I had to hold down my excitement because I didn't want to look crazy or dumb or
I
nothing. But
understand.
in my head,
Wow.
it's like I, the feeling I had is like, how you see a little
Yeah.
puppy and it sees you, it's
Oh,
excited, jumping around, going
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's what that's how I felt inside.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's understandable. I
But
can clearly that, and that's with anybody, especially somebody you like, is like, oh my God, they like me. Or if
yeah,
it's reciprocated, oh my goodness, yes.
and that relationship didn't last long, but it was just I just remember
Yeah,
the good feeling, and that just gave me the courage later on. You
there
know
you
there
go.
there are some that are interested. You know,
Yeah, that's right. That's
but
right. And I think the lesson that we should take away, which I've heard black women have said, as well as even white men, look, we all probably have our fears and intimidations, maybe because of the history behind all that stuff. But if we can get past this, if we like one another, we should at least try. We should at least try to make the effort to at least see if we can make it work or not. That's how I look at it. Because I think that we could be missing out on some great opportunities, great relationships, great loves. That's what we all
yeah,
want. We want to be loved. And I don't want
that's
to be holding out like, okay, I'm going to wait for this black guy to. I'm thinking that may never happen. It may be an opportunity for somebody else to love me that's outside of my race. And I want that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I want that. I don't want to just be waiting for just one certain group. I don't, I'm too old for that right now. I mean, life is too short. I'm losing loved ones. I'm thinking, whatever, if he treats me right, that's where I'm at right now. We can have a good relationship and do things together, spend time with one another. That's what I want. Life is just too short. It really is.
It is. And then, uh, it is too short. And you know what? I found in, black women, I found that they're real easygoing, really nice to be around, the ones that I've
Well,
dated.
thank
And
you, Brett. Thank you so
yeah,
very much. I appreciate that.
no, but I
I'll
mean,
take that for the black
there,
women.
there's a stereotype that says that a lot of black women ain't like that, which is untrue. Um, and were some kind of confused when I approached them, and what some were
Yeah.
like in shock. I tell a story like back in the '80s when I was dating, I would approach a black woman, and she'd like be like, you want to
That's too
what?"
funny.
I, and someone would be like, "Are you serious? Really?"
Oh God.
And then I'd be standing there like, "Okay, are you interested or not?" Or and it was like a
I'm sorry.
shocker.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
understand. Hey, that might still happen today because a lot of us still
yeah.
like, wow, he's interested in me. What? Go figure.
And then
Oh God.
it was kind of funny, but it was a neat thing. And even the ones that
Yeah.
turned me down, I tell people, I
Yeah.
says, you know, I don't know, my experience when I approached black women, they were always, it was like they appreciated me talking to them.
Yeah.
And even the ones that
Yeah.
weren't interested in me,
Yeah.
they were like, it was like they felt bad turning me down. It's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
not attracted to this
But you
guy,
know
but I
what, Brett?
feel bad
You
because
know what
he's
I
so
think?
nice.
You may have opened up the door. See, here's how I look at it. I think that you may have opened up the door for when you did approach it once and may have said no, that when the next white guy come around and express an interest, they might, you know what, I turned the other one down so quick and fast. Well, let me try this guy. Let me at least hang out
Yeah,
with him and see what he's all about. You may have opened up the door.
it
I
might
said
open
you're a
up.
trailblazer.
Okay, yeah, it might open up to a door to some of these ladies that might find a white guy they're attracted to. They're like, hey,
Yep.
this guy, I'm not attracted to him, but this guy I am. So
Yep.
it's yeah. I mean, anything we do, we're an influence on people. We really are. Um,
Yeah.
just doing this YouTube and you know,
Uh,
it don't matter how many people are watching. Some people might see it and say, you know what? Maybe I ought to try
Tyson.
dating this person. You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
maybe
That's what I'm talking about. You're right. Josh says he agrees. Thank you, Josh.
uh,
Uh, okay, you guys know I'm a slow reader, so hold on for a second. I have
I
posted this when I was 20. I wasn't asking anything. Okay, Miss Ursula, I'm not sure I understood. I posted to dance when I
what is-
was 20. I won't ask anything. Okay.
I think it was a joke. She was saying,
Okay, that's cool. Hey, I think as we get older, we all change. Hey, I'm in my 60s, guys. So, how I felt when I was in my 20s is one thing. How I felt when I was in my 30s and I had my son. How I felt in my 40s and 50s. I'm in my 60s. And like I said, to all the people who are younger than me, or even my age, I mean, life is just too short. And if you find anyone, and I know it's going to be some angry folks out here, and there's going to be people that won't agree with me and feel that you should stay within your race. And look, we've been through all that. We all know the history, but you can't get stuck on that. You know, again, if we go back to God, Christ came on this earth to die for all of us, for all of our sins. So some things you got to put behind. And if you find one person, I don't care if he's of another color, and he loves you and you love him, I mean, love now, I'm not talking lust, and you guys
Yeah.
work well together, isn't that what any of us want? I want to be loved, not hated. I want someone, and if out of all the race, and I'm hated by others, and one person really loves me, and they've shown me that they love me, I'm going with that person. I'm going with that guy. That's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. Now, has it
Yeah.
happened yet? No, not yet, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful,
Other
and I walk by faith and not by sight. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. And you know what? There's that guy out there, and you
I
just
believe it.
yeah. And when I tell people when they're dating and stuff, you know, I tell people, I say, you know what? And I tell my story, and I tell them, I said, I've always been attracted to black women ever since, and I tell a story when I was 5. I mean, I tell people, black woman won my heart over when I was 5. I could see the
That's
blessing
beautiful.
in them back then, and so I know
That's a
it's of
beautiful
God.
thing.
It's real. Um, but I
And as
tell that.
black women, for me as a black woman, and I can't speak for all black women, but for me as a black woman, maybe I feel like I need to hear that. Maybe I need to feel appreciated as a black woman, and maybe we don't, and maybe we're not appreciated enough. And I'm not saying that black men do not appreciate us. I mean, yeah, we know there's a lot of negative stuff out there, but there's a lot of positive too. But just to even hear from a white man and know the history of what all that we've been through, to me, I'm most appreciative of that. Now, why am I getting an echo?
Are you getting an echo now?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's weird.
I don't know. Let me get my phone away from
Okay.
here.
No, it's not you. I think it's over on this end.
Okay.
Could be my phone.
Yeah. Yeah. What you were saying, and maybe me coming on here, this YouTube, it might be, maybe God's having me do this to comfort some people, just to say that I love
Yeah,
black women, and I do, and
yeah,
I tell my
yeah.
story, and I was so attracted to black women, and that it wasn't all the desire, and no, I actually prayed to God to have a black wife. I tell people that,
That's
and I'm being
awesome.
honest. And some people say,
That's awesome.
"Well, you should just pray for a good wife. You shouldn't pray for racial, uh, for a racial
You try,
type." But
Brett, you
but you
trying to
know what?
cause trouble up in here.
Yeah, they tell me. People have told me. They said, "Well, you shouldn't have prayed for a black woman. You should have just prayed for a good woman, right?" And I understand what they're thinking, but what's in my
Yeah,
heart? That's
yeah.
what I want. And
That's
when I
what you
come to
wanted.
God, I'm telling God what I want. He already knows,
That's
what I
true.
want stuff.
He
Will
knows
he
what's
let
in your
me have
heart.
that? Will he let me
Yeah,
have that? Well, he did. So, a lot of times God gives us what we need more than what we want, but sometimes God will give
that's
us what
true.
we want too. I mean, our
Yes, he
God's a
does.
loving God. And
Yes, he is.
so, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm just being honest. I
And
mean,
he answered your prayer because the Lord
yeah,
did truly bless you. All those times that you got rejected, Brett, God heard your prayers and he gave you the right black woman.
yeah, he did. He could have gave me one that destroyed me. I don't, but yeah, I
No, I'm
mean,
just saying all the ones in the past that you said that some of them turned you down, but you didn't
yeah,
give up. You could just said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna just go back to my side. But you didn't. You did not
but
give up. You kept on fighting through and you got someone who really loves you and you guys got a good marriage
yeah,
as a result of that.
but in reality, if I would have got discouraged and just went back, white women would have been turning me down too. I mean, I mean, you're still going to deal with rejection. I mean,
You're gonna deal with
uh,
rejection regardless of what you're saying, you will be dealing with some form of
yeah,
rejection. I get what
it's part of life because
yeah,
not everybody's attracted to you. Not everybody feels
yeah,
comfortable around you. Uh,
yeah,
Sometimes people can be attracted to each other, but their personalities just clash and they just can't stand each other. So,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's different variables in there,
yeah.
people coming together, and but anyway, and I kind of, as we're talking, I kind of thought about that. Maybe this this channel, maybe me talking is just to comfort some people. Um, or give
Yeah.
them, open up their options and let them know that you can find a good person in any group. And
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, but I've had a good life. And, how far this YouTube thing goes, I'm having a great time with it. I'm having
Oh
fun.
yeah.
I like
Well,
the
yeah,
interaction.
I love the videos. And I got to go back over the one last night. I watched it a little bit, but it's late and I'm tired a lot of times. So I want to fall asleep. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the one that you did last night. I saw a couple of the clips on there.
Oh yeah,
But you
the
always have
late
a really good live chat. The chats in the chat rooms are interesting too.
yeah, and I've got such a one track mind. It's hard for me to focus on the comments and think about what I'm
I
saying. And
know, and I
sometimes I
know.
get
I'm
like,
kind of the same way. I see. I mean, I think Ursula and Josh are. I know they're saying something, but because I can't see that well, and then I don't want to keep looking over here at my cell phone because I think that's not good either. So I'll have
but
to check. I have to check you guys a little bit later. I'm sorry.
yeah,
The other
but
day, Ursula and Josh was staring at my forehead because I kept going in like, okay, what is?
oh,
So we're not going to do that today.
yeah,
So,
but yeah, and what I've been doing lately, and I have this idea where when I do reaction videos, I try to find a YouTuber that's talking about the same topic, and
okay.
like I'll use their videos and put like these black ladies that were talking last night with their channels, and
Yeah.
I mean that's good information.
Yeah,
And
I saw the
also,
one that was talking about our hair. I thought that
yeah,
was
yeah, but I mean showing them doing a reaction, it gets them
yeah.
some spotlight. And that one lady has like 200 subscribers, so she's starting out. So it kind of
Oh,
lifts up other people. That's
that's
kind of
good.
my theory on that, because I do the reaction and I tell about their channel a little bit, and then people that watch me
Yeah.
that subscribe to
Oh,
me
they'll
go
go
over
and
there,
visit her. Yeah.
visit
Yeah.
her, they like it, they
Yeah.
subscribe, it grows them
Yeah.
along with us, and we're in the same
Exactly.
lane, you
And
know.
it's helping, and it is helping one another too, and networking and all of that.
Yeah, and it gets you a variety of channels too, because not
That's
everybody
true.
wants to just listen to me talk all day. They'll get tired of it. Maybe they want to listen to this young lady, or this guy over here. And that's what it's about. And
Yeah.
we're in the same area. We're in the interracial dating and marriage area of YouTube.
Topic. Yeah.
So people that are in our area, our lane, why don't
Circle.
we lift
Yeah.
them up?
That's
Show,
true.
you know, because that's what it's about. And
It
you get
is.
you get
It's
good
about
information.
passing it forward. It's about helping
Yeah,
someone else, help, passing it forward, helping someone else. And we help one another out. It's really about helping each other. It's enough for everyone to get a piece of the pie. So that's
yeah,
how
and,
I
and
feel.
that's that's the way it should be, because a lot of times on YouTube you see people fighting, going in at each other, trying to make each other look bad. You see people doxing each other. Why are we doing
Okay.
this?
I don't see that, or maybe I just choose not to watch
No,
those things. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't.
it's a lot of the bigger channels, but
Okay.
sometimes they'll have beefs on YouTube, and I try to stay out of that stuff. I want to uplift our
Yeah.
group here. The
Yeah.
people that are talking about what we are. Um,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about. But yeah, well, it's good you don't see some of that stuff that goes on, but
I probably would turn away from it anyway, to be quite honest with you.
yeah,
That's just not me. I don't even. I've heard some of the other ladies talk about some of the, or maybe it was you. Somebody was saying about these guru guys is saying, I don't watch
Oh,
stuff like that, and I think if I was to come across it, I probably would turn away because instead of me getting hostile or negative towards it, it's just better for me not to even feed it into me, into my
yeah,
spirit. It's better that I find some things that's gonna be good for me, that's going to help me and not tear me down. I could tear my own self down pretty good, and I'm sure there's other people who don't mind jumping in, but I really about building people up and helping folks and encouraging people. That's what I feel, and I think that that's what you're about too as well, which is why I follow you. I think that what you share, what you convey to us as single folks, as looking for someone. Your message has always been, to consider your options, to, you know, that there are people out here, that there's guys out here who like you, who may not be the same color as you. And I like that. I need to hear that because I don't
yeah.
want to just
Well,
be sitting around waiting for just one color race. I want to feel like, I have some other options out here too. And I'm talking about love, not just for fun. I'm too
yeah,
old for the, you know, playing
yeah,
games.
yeah,
My mom passed away last year. All my brothers are gone. And I know that doesn't mean anything about anything, but in a way it does, because when you start losing people, loved ones, and the pain that it brings to, and the feelings that you feel, it's to me, it's always a reminder. Like I don't have time for a bunch of stupidity and um, I just don't. I want something. I want someone who is real and sincere, and we have similar interests and want the same things that I want in this short period of time. I don't know how long God will allot me on this earth, how much longer that I will be here. So time is very vital to me. It's and hopefully maybe the younger people will be able to listen to this. Hopefully, it'll help them to see, or maybe look at things differently. Because I do feel like when you're younger, life is before you. Uh, you're not looking at the longevity or of stuff. So
yeah,
when you
yeah.
get
When you
older, though, you do.
Well, yeah, as you get older, you got things more in perspective. When you're talking
Right.
about the dating gurus and stuff, a lot of people watch them. Because sometimes they tear down people, and some people like the entertainment. A lot of
Oh,
women
okay.
watch it, and I've heard ladies talk to me. They said they watch those shows because I've had a few ladies tell me, "Well, I didn't. My dad wasn't at home. It was just me and my mom, and uh, I nobody really taught me how to deal with men, and they're looking for a
Yeah.
relationship, so
Interesting.
they didn't have that guidance, so they might tune into a YouTuber like that, and I tell them be careful
Right.
because they don't have your best interest. They're making
Yeah.
money, they're trying to build fame, and the thing of it
Yeah.
is the best dating guru is your father or your uncle
Yeah.
or your brother,
That's if
someone
you
that
have a good father. If you have a good father, that's the best guru. I agree.
yeah,
If
well,
you don't, you
I'd
can have a
say
father that's right there in your house and may not give you the advice that you need to prepare you for this world.
yeah, yeah. No, but what I'm saying is you want that man in your life, that family member that loves you
Yeah,
and wants the best for you. That's the best
one
dating
hundred
guru
percent,
because
100%.
he wants you to be happy. He wants you to be loved. He's not
Yeah,
trying to make money off you. He's not trying. And when I talk to my daughters, when it comes to dating, I insert
yeah,
myself in there right away.
yeah,
When it comes to
yeah.
being young,
That's
when it
good.
comes yeah, when it comes to being young ladies and doing the girl thing, my wife takes care of that. But when it comes to
Yeah,
dating, I'm in there because the thing of it is I want them to find the right husband. I don't
yeah.
want them to, be played
I
with
love it.
or end up with
I
someone
love it.
corrupt. Um,
Love it. I'm glad that you're in their ear, Brett. I'm so happy. That's really good.
well,
We
yeah,
probably need to talk about that a lot more these days for the young women and for the women that don't have fathers in their household and or maybe not have good representatives of good fathers too. Because women, young women really need to hear that. I think about my granddaughter who's over here. And I know that my son will definitely be very much in her life. And when I hear what you're saying, that touches my heart. That really does, because the young women today, we need that. We need to know what's a good example, what's not, what to look for, what to get away from. You know, we need to hear that. Um,
yeah,
I think that's
and
important for the young ladies today. I really do.
yeah, and you know, traditionally, it's in our culture to, protect women, to have respect for women. To, when I was growing up, um, we were taught we don't hit girls, right? When we're real little, you
Right,
don't do that.
right.
Um, and I remember out playing. Some little girl pulled my hair and I pushed her, and my dad just tore into me like no tomorrow. And I was like, as a little kid, but she pulled my hair. You don't hit girls. You don't. But you know what? It was a blessing because the woman I was dating before my wife would actually hit me, would actually, she'd get mad and just hit me or do.
I remember
And
you saying
I,
that. I
I
do remember
never
telling
really,
us that.
I, I never laid my hands on her. And
Wow.
that's the reason because I was trained not to do that. I was taught not to do that. And thank God I didn't. Yeah, it
Yeah,
hurt, getting hit.
yeah,
But, I could always walk away. She couldn't overpower me. So,
right.
but in a lot of cases, a man would get upset and beat the crap out of her. And who knows?
Yeah,
If I would have done that, I could have hurt her real bad or killed her. I mean, um,
yeah.
but in our society, we got to protect women. We got to, and my daughters, from the time they were born till they became women, those were my princesses. I took care of
Yeah.
them. We pamper our girls, we take care of them,
I love it.
and
I love
and
it.
we want the best for it. Now my son,
I mean, how many
yeah,
women, I hate to say this, and I love what you're saying, but how many women grew up feeling like a princess or feeling that they were special like that? I mean, I had a
I,
father that was right there in the house, but I didn't feel like that by no means. I'm like, wow, I don't even know what's that like to feel that away. Now I think my granddaughter will feel that away. She has a very good dad. I'm so proud of my son, and that and he really, looks out for his daughter. I love that, and I try to tell him that as often as I can because young ladies, we need that. Your daughters needed that. I mean, it helped them to find the right kind of guys, and she was their
and,
guiding force in their life, and they listened to their father.
yeah, and here's the
I think
important
that's
thing
awesome.
too: you treat your
Yeah,
daughters like that. When they look for a man, they're going to want to be treated like a princess when they're
there you
young
go.
ladies, and you know, and in the traditional family, I tell people if you get good in good with the father, you're going to get in good with the daughter because um, and the daughter wants someone that treats her right, right? Um,
Mhm.
and they'll go off like you know my daughters, they're interested in guys. Well, my oldest daughter's married and her husband's
Right,
in the Air Force. I retired out of the army, so he's kind of like me in a lot of ways. You know,
right.
and my daughter says, "Wow, she just married someone just like you." And then my youngest daughter, is dating this Marine, and
Yeah.
but and
Now,
they're
the
kind
one
of
thing
like
that
me.
my dad, I mean,
And,
I'm back. The one thing I felt like my dad was a hard worker. Now, if he showed me anything as far as in a guy, my father was a hard worker. Now he would work before he started his own business. He would work three, four jobs. I mean, he had six kids. My mom did not work. Not we're talking back in the 60s. And for a black family, that's pretty darn good because he had 6 kids, and my mom did not have to work outside of the household. And so that what he showed me as far as taking care of the responsibility, taking care of the family. He did show me that. But to have that type of relationship where apparently your daughters can sit and talk to you, their dad, and you can tell them, prepare them for what's out here, what to look out for. That I didn't have that so much, so I don't know what the princess situation, what that's like.
Well,
I love it though. I hope that as many girls, young ladies can experience that. I pray they always have that and feel good about. Because to me, I feel like that's where your self esteem and you know what your self worth is. Because your father is there to tell you, like, no, you don't have anybody treat you any less than. That's
yeah,
what you need to hear growing
and,
up. When you don't
and
hear that, you're going out here blindly into the world. And unfortunately, that's a lot of our stories.
yeah, no, 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 it's true. Yeah, you got to have that relationship. With my son, he wasn't pampered. He's a boy. And he was taught you look after your sisters, you protect your sisters. And he always did.
Yeah.
Even to this day, when he comes home on leave, he'll spend money on his sisters. He really
Aw,
takes care of them. He's, you
that's
know,
awesome.
but yeah, we got to treat our daughters like princesses. Now, our both my daughters are educated, so we did teach them hard work too, because
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. You thirsty?
Sa-
I'll get
Sadly
you
to
going.
say that a lot of
I'll have to pour that for you later.
mhm.
Just get some water for right now. I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys.
Oh, no
Let's go.
worries.
Come on. Okay. All right. Sorry. I have my granddaughter. She and I'm not gonna stay on a whole heck of a lot longer
Yeah.
because I do have my
Um.
granddaughter here, and she's been really good for a
Yeah, she
little. She's
has.
been good, so I'm not
Yeah.
complaining. Yeah, but I know I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be still much longer
Um.
because you know how that goes. They
Yeah.
want their attention too.
Yeah. But um. This my point is the princess thing. It's not so much you spoil them, but you have a relationship with them. You tell your
Yes,
daughters you love them, you give them hugs, you
yes, yeah,
make them feel like, and it's a self esteem thing. And then when they get older,
yeah,
they can look at a guy and say, okay, where are you going in life? My
yeah.
my daughter back in high school, the boyfriend she had, she's like, okay, what do you do? What career? She was already hitting them with those, and
That's
that
good. That's good. Very
and you know
good.
what? You got to think about that, because if you're going to date somebody and you're going to take it further to marriage,
Absolutely,
you gotta have some kind of
absolutely,
income. You got to have a job.
absolutely.
You got to be willing to work hard, and you got to put your family first.
Yeah. Now we
When I
have
got
to. Because I wish it was some kind of program for the young ladies and I'm talking about good men. I'm not talking about these men out here that's going to try to prey on younger women. I'm talking about some good, positive minded men who, if you don't have a father figure in your home, that you could get the love. I don't know. I think I'm getting some feedback now. Not sure
I'm
why.
sorry.
No, it's not you. I think it's just over here on my end. But I just wish it was something that, because there's a lot of women that don't have that, in all sincerity. It's a beautiful thing for the women who have experienced that. But there are a lot of women out here who has not experienced it and doesn't know what that's really like. And again, we're going out here not knowing, you know, not knowing what to look for, maybe not even feeling sure of our own self or feeling good about who we are. And it would be nice to have some positive male figures in these young ladies' lives, not in a bad way, you know what I mean? Not to
Yeah,
be a prey, not to, but to love them in a way as a father would love their daughter and show them and help them. Like, this is not putting them down, because they probably had enough of that, but also show in a loving way of how to love yourself, how to know your self-worth, to know what to look for in a man, or what not to, or what you don't, or what you want to stay away from, or like, you're gonna have men out here that's gonna say some beautiful things to you and make you feel good, and that's all well and good. But then you need to dig a little bit deeper and find out where they're. But again, it is all about to our self-worth. What do we feel about ourselves? Because before a man can tell you that you're beautiful, or you're this or you're that, you got to feel it and know it for yourself. And if you don't know it for yourself, and I have to say, when I was young, I don't feel like I really knew that for myself. It took me years to figure some things out. And when you find, and if you can learn it at an early age, that's all the better for you, because you're not going out here blindly, like, okay, feeling your way and trying to get it from somebody else. You can get it within yourself. And then, of course, if somebody says, okay, yeah, you're this, but then you can also, really see past the facade, like, okay, but you're just a bunch of empty words. You're telling me all this good stuff, but your actions show me differently, So
Yeah.
that's good that you have been in your daughter's life the way that you've been in there, so they know what to look for, what not to look for, and that's a blessing. And it seems like both of your daughters is well on their way. I mean, they're both doing quite well, so that's great in itself.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. And it's not so much me or my wife. What it is me and my wife love each other, and we have stability, and our kids see that, and they
they
know
see
we
that,
love them. They know we love them, and the advice we give them is the best that we can, because we don't want
right?
them to be hurt. We don't want them to be led the wrong way. Um,
Right?
but they're the ones that's gotta be. They're the ones that's either going to be successful or be a failure. I mean, it's up to them, because we all have a
That's
free
true. It
will.
is. But you guys have set
Um,
it is. I mean, ultimately, it's
but
up to all of us individually when we get
yeah,
when we become adults. But it's good though to have those examples that's set before you, and I think all of those are like nuggets too, to help build you up to it, and strengthen and make you who you are. Does that make sense? Your
yeah,
character. I'm sure that all that they saw growing up, that strengthened them, that built their character as to who they were going to be.
yeah.
You know,
It
They
sets
didn't-
the example, and
yes,
you
that's the
know,
example.
it lets them know what's right and wrong. They know what's right and wrong,
Right,
but they don't
right.
always go the right way, and that's
Well, yeah,
you know.
hey,
But
we're all
all we
human,
can,
right?
yeah, yeah. But all we can do as parents is just do the best we
Yeah.
can and show them the right way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But even if they went the wrong way, the thing of it is that I think even if you go the wrong way, you can find yourself quickly and
Well,
go the
yeah. I
right
mean,
way, and turn from that and go the right way, and not stay and not linger. You should know enough or feel good enough about yourself, like, okay, this is the wrong direction, let me go a different direction, let me go from left, let me go right instead of left. I think that
yeah, yeah.
those
No,
are the
no doubt.
examples. Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
anyway,
no
I
doubt.
know we
And there's
we done
yeah,
jumped
we've been
all
on and
around in
that.
this conversation, but this has been
No,
a great conversation, and
it's
I
been
would
a good
love to
one.
continue it on. Go ahead.
Oh
I'm
well,
sorry.
well, the interracial things we're talking about, it could lead to this family, and loving your
Yeah.
kids and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, we got a little off, and sometimes that happens. I know my show, I get off subject all the time.
No, but it was
But
good though. I mean, I like this. This is still doing relationships, and I love it.
yeah,
So, and I would
well, the
like to talk longer, but
relationships,
I know I'm not going to be able to, because my granddaughter is eventually gonna. She's quiet
yeah,
now, but I'm wondering in the back of my mind how long it's going to last.
probably saying, "Grandma,
So,
okay, how long?" Yeah.
right. All right, you guys.
Well,
Well, hey,
hey,
thank you all so very much. And Brent, thank you. Truly, thank you. I definitely will have you come back again. This was a great conversation. And just encouraging us single folks that's out here that want to be in a serious relationship, and always keeping the door open. Maybe some real great opportunities, making sure, not being so fearful. And guys out there, don't be afraid. Approach, approach. Take a chance.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
thank you
Yeah,
again, Brent. God bless you so much for what you do and for encouraging us. I appreciate that. I'm sure a lot of other women do as well. And guys, Miss Ursula and Miss Josh, and I don't know if there's anybody else that's out there because I haven't glanced
yeah,
at my phone because I keep getting feedback. So I thought I better leave that alone. And but
yeah,
thank you guys too for coming out to visit me, yours truly, and listen to me and Brent talk. So
yeah. And it was fun, Miss Anita. Anytime you want me to come on, uh,
sure, definitely, I'll have
you
you
know,
back again.
it was a good discussion. And Josh and Ursula, good to see you. And anybody else
Yeah,
watching, hey, good to see you too.
yeah.
And I'll be going live today. I'm going to do my prayer meeting. I'm going
Okay.
to read some scripture, and I think I'm going to focus on putting God first, giving God the glory. That's what I want to
Well,
focus on.
that's gonna be a good message.
Um,
Oh, what time are you going on though? Because I do have to work a little bit later. What time are you going
um,
on?
it'll be 6 o'clock your time.
I'll have to check my schedule. But either way, if I don't get you live, I'll get you. I usually go back and listen to the show anyway.
Yeah,
I
it'll be
always
on the
go back and
replay and
listen.
stuff. But
Yeah.
are you going to be there, Josh? Hey, it'll be good to see you there.
Oh,
Ursula, you're
Josh is
welcome
usually,
to come
yeah,
in too.
yeah.
Yeah, gotta
Josh is
love
usually very
Josh.
much there.
He's always
They're
there.
so sweet.
Ursula,
I
I've seen
love
you a lot.
son Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All right, you
anyway,
guys.
good.
Huh?
No, I was just going to say, good discussion. I had a good time. You know,
Thank you.
it's always
Thank
good
you,
talking to
Brett.
you, Miss Anita. I mean, we could talk all day. You know, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing, and um,
Thank you so much.
you know,
It has been a blessing. I enjoy talking with you too. And I love the message that you bring. I really do appreciate that. And I really meant what I said earlier because I feel very blessed to
oh, thanks.
have you as a friend. I consider you my friend and also my brother in Christ. That's why I think I told you that
Hey,
from day one.
we're
And, you've been a
we're
blessing
we're in
for
the
me.
we're in the Christian family. That's
There you
right.
go.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys, I'm getting ready to sign off. Thank you again for stopping by to visit yours truly, Miss Anita. And you all take care until I see you at the next video or live chat. God bless you guys. Bye bye.
Hey, God bless. Talk to you later.
Okay.